Hey everyone, Dead Old Nerve Guy here. Now that my Worker Swift have been revamped with a SWIN flavor, let's review the blaster. Welcome to Tech. This SWIN Edition Swift. Well, sort of. I mean, at least I got all the internal in it and the spring that comes with it, and I have to say, it is something else. But first, right off the bat, let me clear something out. This conversion, if you want to use all part into the blaster, it's kind of a one-shot deal. Once you converted the blaster, you cannot use your previous spring because they are too small to fit the new plunger rod, and you will not be able to use your older barrel because this gate is threaded and it doesn't work at all with the old barrel. That said, the quality and overall result of this kind of outclass this other aspect of the Swift. I know the Swift big point is to be versatile and being able to adjust it, but normally SWIN make blaster that shoots around 250 FPS and very straight, and that's what this thing is. Taking the part of the quality themselves, I'm gonna go over the trigger to start because this trigger is, to my sense, the best trigger for Worker Swift. Maybe to one little detail, it doesn't have the hook for the safety. So for the one of you who like to have a safety on their trigger, it won't work. But for the rest, it feels like an extended trigger from AK Blaster mode, but somewhat smoother, somewhat more comfortable. This is probably the best trigger I've seen for a Swift. I've tried the Worker one, a little too sharp and a little too maybe short for my taste. I tried the AK one, which was my first choice, but this one it's almost magical. It's really something apart. Then the dart gate. Somewhat thicker and somewhat smaller in overall size than the original one, but this one is threaded, which will ensure your seal during a game. One problem that the Swift have is because the dart gate hold the barrel with friction. That friction can be loosened by repetitive hit of the plunger, of the pusher inside, because the plunger hits it every time you shoot with strong spring, meaning your barrel can slightly loose and break your seal, meaning you're gonna lose FPS, lose range, lose accuracy. And I even saw some barrel just fall down when people were running with their Swift because it had loosened up. This thing eliminates it completely. I mean, I had one time I had to retight it at first after a couple of shots because I didn't dare tight it too much. This is aluminum. I don't want to break the thread or anything. So I put one tiny layer of Teflon tape after that to be sure, and since then haven't loose at all. This thing is incredible. As for the barrel, it will give you pretty much the same barrel as the big barrel from Worker. This is a 54 centimeter barrel, 540 millimeter. Worker offer a 550 millimeters. But one main difference here will be this scar barrel and the system to attach it. On Worker, we have this injection molded scar barrel that they offer and they include with the Swift, that you just friction fit to your barrel. This is amazing. It worked pretty well. But this one, it's another level. SWIN is known to developing. It got like this really cool machine quick release system on it, which requires like no tension and hold very well. Plus, it's a 10 polished stainless steel string wire inside this scar. Gonna show you in the chronograph test, it got like 0 loss of FPS with the scar, and in accuracy I have to tell you there is quite a difference of shooting with or without it. Then there is this famous or infamous pusher depending on which way you are in there. If you don't like the fact that you can't use your older spring, this is an infamous pusher, but this is really something cool. First, this looks like it's nylon for the head, very hard nylon, so it's not gonna scratch the interior of your plunger, which is a good point. The aluminum one was kinda sharp and you kinda had to work your way with a file to protect the interior of your plunger or to put very tight O-ring to help it. This one doesn't require it. Plus it got a super light carbon fiber rod. I'm telling you, this plunger, the whole plunger, I mean, inside this blaster, is 29 grams. I can assure you it's at least 4 times lighter than the original one in the Swift. I mean, this big piece of aluminum got some weight to it, which the new one doesn't have. Which means you got kind of a quicker response and a more silent operation inside your blaster. Then, let's talk about that spring that is inside. That spring is slightly bigger in diameter than what you have in your normal Swift, and it's to clear that plunger rod. And that spring feel, at least in priming and in hand, doesn't feel stronger than a 1.4, but the diameter of the wire is a bit thicker. So in the end, this spring will give you a very, let's say a light prime on this blaster. Honestly, this is not a hard prime at all, and to retain it either. And for performance, let me give you a small chronograph test, and then we're going to talk about the performance. So chronograph test for this Swift SWIN Edition. I'm going to use AF Pro Dart for this test. That's going to give us a really good idea of what this thing can do. And I am so far of the chronograph for this. This is amazing. 246. 246 again. 249. Well, that is pretty impressive. Let me try to shoot without the scar to see if there is any difference. Did I just prime it or nope, it's not primed. That is great. Not big of an improvement without the scar. I mean, maybe 1-2 FPS sometimes. So I guess this scar is pretty effective. As you could see, about 253 average. This is pretty good. The blaster feel like it's set up to output somewhere around 200, 220 basing myself on the number I had with my test with my part on my Swift. So basically I have a very light prime 250 FPS sniper blaster, like very efficient sniper blaster. I can't really give you pictures for the fire test because it will be pointless to shoot in my corridor, which is about 25 foot, and my balcony is still closed for winter, so I can't even give you a distance shot to show you the distance. But this thing is crazy. I already lost tons of dart because they go too far, or they go so straight that they just fly somewhere and I don't see where they go, and end of the story. So I have the good idea that this thing is going to be very efficient on the field. Again, I have to remind you, this is kind of a one-shot deal, but there is a way to keep using your spring. Since it's an easy to separate in half blaster, you could just swap plunger in it, reusing your stock plunger to use your other spring. But for the barrel, technically you are stuck with that if you want to use this scar on it. But for the length, you can get jet threaded barrel. They should fit that dart gate, meaning you could get a 35 centimeter barrel, 3500 millimeter, the same length as the medium barrel from the Swift from Monkey Mods. I think they have it in red if you want to match the color, or in blue if you need to match your blaster. But no, this is an amazing kit. This is retailing for $85 US. I mean, just the kit before shipping from Taobao. I'm going to put the link in the description. And I managed to be able to bring that thing over here in like 6 days using FedEx. A little pricey. It's going to be like about $45 US in FedEx to bring this kit alone here. But I think the kit alone, even if you use a little longer shipping, is pretty well worth it if that's your style of play. Most of the game I play are 300 FPS cap, meaning at 250, very precise, I am not the underdog over there. I am pretty well into the game. I have the right blaster for it, and I'm used to running very long barrel blaster, as I really dig this blaster with a 5500 millimeter barrel. Meaning this thing is just slightly longer. Yeah, this thing is 43-inch long. It's a 43-inch blaster. It is pretty long. It is very, very long. But I love it like that. This SWIN kit, the quality alone is worth the money. Those parts are outstanding, as I showed you into my install video. Next time I'm going to show you is going to be some range tests. When I'm going to be done with my setup, we're going to do some fire tests with my loadout blaster for this year. This one is included, so that means I'm going to make range tests with this thing. That's it for this video. In the meantime, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at @ThatOldNerveGuy. Please leave a like and comment, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that bell to notify for my latest video. This was Dave Fatag. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.